Hi, I'm your host Vasco Duarte. Welcome to the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast, where we share tips and tricks from Scrum Masters around the world. Every day, we bring you inspiring answers to important questions that all Scrum Masters face day after day. Hello everybody, welcome to our Team Tuesday. This week from Germany, we have Peter Müller. Hey Peter, welcome back.
Hi Vasco. Welcome to be here. Like to be here.
So Tuesday is, of course, Team Tuesday. We talk a lot about teams on Tuesday because we need to explore what are the things that they get themselves into sometimes. But before we jump into that, Peter, share with us, what was a book that most inspired you in your career as a Scrum Master?
Okay, I have Solution-Focused Coaching for Agile Teams, which is by Veronika, Jungwirth and Miarka. It's published in Solutions Books. I just find it out. And for me, it's very inspiring because it puts a different view on how we can do things. They use solution-focused principles and attitudes and ideas, for example, to apply for retrospectives or for interactions with teams. And I can highly recommend it because it is the idea that you very, fast go from problem space to solution space.
And when you think about that book and maybe something that you've applied or something that particularly struck you as important, can you share one lesson that you got from reading that book that you think Scrum Masters should be aware of?
Maybe one lesson is that you start thinking in solutions first, and that you also focus on resources you already see and have. In many situations, when teams struggle in a problematic situation, they always focus on the problematic situation. So they no longer see what they already have achieved or what they have with respect to skills or other strengths and resources. So what I really like here is that we usually first look into that to find out what is already from which we can build on further with respect to our future or our improvements. So what already works, to put it in short.
I really like the perspective of creating this positive dynamic. I think solution-focused coaching can be one way to get there, right? Like to create a positive dynamic, future-looking and also hopeful. Because just like you said, I find that sometimes teams create like a negative spiral, right?
Yes.
Like they start focusing on problems and then very quickly, especially if the mood is appropriate, it goes into blaming and finding out who's responsible and so on.
Yeah, and this is not necessary. There's another principle in this where you say that actually the solution really does not care about the problem in most times. So.
And sometimes when we solve something, we end up finding out that actually we misunderstood the problem.
Exactly. So let's think about solutions.
Yeah. So of course, these solutions we bring to teams are there because sometimes teams do get in trouble. And in Tuesday's episode, we explore the troubles they get themselves into with and without our help. So Peter, share a story of a team with us. Tell us a little bit about the context, so I know about the size and so on. And then walk us through those small little behaviors that eventually escalated over time and became a problem for the team.
So I think of a team which has, I think it was six people, and they were quite successful. So they built a product. They were really good. And over time, they end up with a product which is in use, so it's utilized, and people are always happy. However, this in the end now led to a kind of complacency. So the customers actually, they are just happy. So they don't need more things. At least they don't say it. The team itself is. Or the people on the team, they interact in a harmonious way. They are always friendly. There is no struggle anymore. They do their job. Yes, there are sometimes bugs. They fix them, and again, people are happy and stuff like that. So, why I think this is kind of self-destruction, because I think that people they move back from improving themselves, so they don't ask for things like to improve. And we had it yesterday when we talked about things in retrospectives. I think that teams sometimes don't say we can improve. Actually, we said yesterday that they always can improve. But in this team, in a retrospective, there was the answer: we are good. We don't need improvement. So, and this is something where I say this is some kind of harmonious apathy. I think it's called apathy, right? Apathy, because people no longer. They are just there. They don't feel a need to do more.
There's this theory that I have. I haven't developed this very much, but there's this theory that I have that teams, like as a group, not individuals, but teams as a group, develop their own like kind of personality. Let's call it group personality. And we all know from our own lives that there are people who they seek comfort zones and then they want to stay in those comfort zones. Is that how you describe this particular team?
Yeah. I think it's kind of normal that we would like to stay in a comfort zone. However, we usually would like to learn more. We would like to seek some thrilling moments, and this is lost in that team. And I think this is something which is destructing the team. It's very difficult to put it in words. It's just they are just there. They do their job, and that's it.
They became, some philosophers would say, automatons, right? They just go on from task to task, and the tasks are reasonably successful, so they don't need to question anything. They can just do whatever they did yesterday.
Yes, and so this is kind of a boring feeling, and I also think that they do have kind of boring feeling about the situation, but they don't see it. They just say, we are fine, we are good, let's be as it is.
Yeah. This reminds me of the German phrase, ich habe kein Lust.
Yeah.
Right? It's almost like, let's have an ice cream. I don't feel like it.
Yes.
Let's build a great product. I don't feel like it. And for me, when I think about the relationship with the team as a Scrum Master, I'm thinking, would there be someone in the team who would have that thirst, right? Like as you described this story, I'm thinking, okay, I'm in the team and I'm looking at the people in the team and I'm trying to identify, is there someone in the team that has this desire to go further? And now when I think about it as a Scrum Master, one of my guiding principles is that we work with people first, teams next, and organizations only if we need to. And the reason for that is very simple, because when you help teams, when you help individuals, they help the team, and eventually the team helps the organization, right? So we need to build, let's say, a strong individual performance within the team. And I'm thinking, like, if there's someone in the team that has that desire, I want to help them. I want to bring their energy into the team. In this particular team that you were working with, was there someone that would be able to, from their own perspective, kind of bring that thought of improvement into the team?
Yeah. I think the situation here is that it was just one person, and so the mass of the others was too overwhelming. So it was very difficult for that person to speak up. Now you can argue, and I agree, that I would work with the person in order to support her to raise her voice and to not give up and stuff like that. Still, this is very difficult and a very how do you say, time-consuming task and energy-consuming task for that person, because you always struggle with your teammates and you start to ask, am I right in that team? Which is also part of this destructive movement.
And sometimes, now going a little bit further, sometimes we need to take advantage of that and actually bring it forward. So in the podcast, I'll put the link in the show notes. We interview Heidi Helfand about dynamic reteaming, right? And this is a moment where maybe we need to reshape the team. Like take this one person that is already so, interested in improving and put them in a team that needs to improve and wants to improve. And then think about changing perhaps the team composition so that we bring new relationships, person-wise relationships, into the team that moves the team forward.
Yes, I agree. And I also made a suggestion to do some disruptive work where you really bring some bang into this team so that they really have to act on a new situation. And also to ask the team, okay, if we use scaling questions and stuff like that, what is the question we should ask you where you are not on the top of the scale, where you say we are happy with it and stuff like that. Yeah. So what kind of question do we need to ask so that you say, well, we are just at the middle of the scale, so that we can work on something to improve, so that they start to reflect, are we really happy? So in that sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a danger for all of us, not just teams, but to find a comfort zone and not wanting to move forward. And that eventually leads to withering, right? Like we start to almost disappear, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's a good term. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. It was a great story.
Thank you.
Tuesday is Team Day here on the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast. But tomorrow we talk about something that goes beyond the work we do with the teams. We will talk about how to lead change and what our guests have learned from leading and participating in change programs during their career. See you tomorrow. We really hope you liked our show. And if you did, why not rate this podcast on Stitcher or iTunes? Share this podcast and let other Scrum Masters know about this valuable resource for their work. Remember that sharing is caring.